"We heard you bought a penthouse. We're here to move in and make peace," my son Leonard and daughter-in-law Nancy said as they stood at my door. After 6 months of throwing me out like I was nothing, now they wanted back in. But what they saw when they stepped inside left them speechless. I'm Gerald Bennett, 62 years old. Never thought the people I'd sacrificed everything for would betray me like this. It all started when my wife Dorothy passed away from a stroke 2 years ago. For 38 years, I'd been the provider, the rock of this family. Built my electrical contracting business from nothing, worked 60-hour weeks to give them everything they needed. Dorothy and I, we were a team. She handled the books while I handled the field work. When Dorothy died, my world fell apart. The house we'd built our life in became this empty shell. In the first few months, Leonard and Nancy still came around. They'd bring little Emma, my 8-year-old granddaughter, for Sunday dinners. "We're family, Dad," Leonard would say. "We'll always be here for you." Turns out that was complete garbage. Little by little, the visits got shorter. The calls stopped coming. When I'd call Nancy, she'd snap at me about being busy with work. Leonard started avoiding my calls altogether. I went from being the family patriarch to being treated like some burden they had to deal with. 6 months ago was the worst day of my life. Leonard and Nancy showed up with a whole different attitude. No more friendly hellos or hugs for Emma. Nancy had on this expensive red blazer, hair done up like she was closing some $1 million deal. Leonard carried a stack of papers, looking at me like I was a stranger. "Dad, we need to talk," Leonard said, not even bothering with small talk. "Nancy's expanding her real estate business, and we need more space. This house is way too big for one person." It hit me like a punch to the gut. "What are you saying?" Nancy smiled, but there was nothing warm about it. "It means you need to downsize, Gerald. We're moving our family in here. You can find a nice little apartment somewhere, something more manageable for a man your age. But this is my house," I said, my voice shaking. "Dorothy and I built our whole life here. Every room has our memories." Leonard looked away. "Memories don't pay property taxes, Dad. Besides, legally, this house is partly mine too. See, I'd put Leonard's name on the deed years ago to avoid probate issues when I died. Never imagined my own son would use that against me. Don't do this to me," I begged. "I'm your father. I gave you everything, taught you the business, set you up for life." Nancy laughed, actually laughed. "Oh, please, Gerald, stop playing the victim card. You've been moping around here for 2 years, feeling sorry for yourself. Dorothy's gone. Time to move on and let the younger generation take over." That comment about Dorothy, my wife of 38 years, cut deeper than anything. Leonard wouldn't even look at me when he said, "You have 1 week to pack your stuff." After that, we're changing the locks. 1 week, where am I supposed to go? I don't have money for some fancy retirement community. Nancy patted her designer purse. "That's not our problem. Emma needs a stable home environment, not some depressed old man shuffling around." They left me standing in my own living room, the house I'd wired with my own hands, the place where I'd taught Leonard everything he knew about electrical work. For 40 years, I'd built this family business. I'd worked through holidays, missed vacations, put Leonard through trade school, and this was my payback. The next week was hell. I packed 40 years of my life into cardboard boxes. Dorothy's china that her mother gave us, my tool collection that represented decades of craftsmanship, photo albums from when we were young and believed family meant something. On moving day, they didn't even show up to help. I left the house keys on the kitchen counter with a note that just said good luck and called a cab to take me to the only place I could afford, a small efficiency apartment across town that cost $800 a month. The place was a dump. Thin walls, noisy neighbors, a kitchenette that barely had room for a coffee maker. At night, I'd lie on that cheap mattress listening to couples fighting next door, wondering how my life had gone so wrong. The first few weeks, I couldn't even eat. I'd sit in that plastic chair staring out the window at the parking lot, asking myself where I went wrong. When did Leonard become so cold? When did I raise a son who could throw away his own father? I called them constantly. Leonard's phone would ring a few times, then go to voicemail. "Son, it's Dad. Just wanted to see how you and Nancy and Emma are doing. Call me back when you get this." He never did. I texted Nancy about Emma's school activities, about wanting to see my granddaughter. Hours later, I'd get back. "Stop bothering us. We don't need your interference." For 2 months, I lived like that, looking for odd electrical jobs to pay the bills. But at 62, nobody wanted to hire me for anything serious. "Try something easier," they'd say with fake sympathy. Easy. I'd been running electrical systems when these kids were in diapers. I bought the cheapest food I could find. Day-old bread, generic canned soup, whatever was marked down. Some days I'd eat one meal just to make the money stretch. Lost about 15 pounds, clothes hanging loose on me like I was shrinking away. One day I was walking past the mall and saw Nancy coming out of some upscale furniture store with bags full of expensive stuff. She was driving a new silver SUV I'd never seen before. Obviously, they were spending money hand over fist now that they had my house rent-free. I ran after her. Nancy, wait up. She turned around and saw me in my worn-out jacket and old work boots. The disgust on her face was like getting slapped. What do you want, Gerald? I just wanted to know how Emma's doing. How's school going? Is she still taking those art classes? Emma's fine, and she'll stay fine, as long as she doesn't have to deal with your negativity dragging her down. Nancy slammed the car door and drove off, leaving me standing there like some crazy homeless guy that night. Sitting in my cramped apartment, I made a decision. I was done begging, done humiliating myself for scraps of attention from people who'd thrown me away like garbage. If they wanted to treat me like I was dead, then fine, but I was going to find a way to stand on my own. 2 weeks later, while cleaning out some old boxes, I found something that changed everything. At the bottom of a cardboard box wrapped in an old shop rag was a small envelope I'd never seen before. Dorothy's handwriting on the outside. For Gerald, when you need it most. My hands were shaking as I opened it. Inside was a key and a letter in Dorothy's careful script. My dearest Gerald, if you're reading this, something has happened to me and you're probably struggling. There are things I never told you because I didn't want you to worry about money when we had everything we needed. I could barely breathe as I kept reading. Remember those insurance settlements from the accident in 2015 and the money from when your back got hurt on the Morrison job in 2017? I didn't just put that money in our checking account. I invested it, Gerald. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds. I read every financial magazine, learned everything I could. The paperwork is in safety deposit box 447 at First National. I did this because I love you and I wanted to make sure you'd never have to depend on anyone. The letter was 3 pages long. Dorothy had documented everything. She'd started with $50,000 from my back injury settlement and $75,000 from our car accident insurance payout. Over 10 years, she'd been quietly investing. Index funds, dividend-paying stocks, even some Apple and Microsoft shares she'd bought in 2012. She'd reinvested every dividend, never touched a penny. I put in about $300,000 total over the years. Her letter continued. Every bonus you got, every good month when the business did well, I'd skim a little off the top and invest it. You were always so worried about having enough for today, but I was planning for tomorrow. At the bottom, she'd written the numbers that made my heart stop. Total value as of my last statement in January, approximately $122 million. You're stronger than you know, Gerald. Show them who you really are. I sat in that tiny apartment and cried for an hour. Dorothy, my brilliant wife, had been quietly protecting our future even after she was gone. She'd seen this coming somehow, known I'd need resources to fight back, but there was more. She'd also written about a safety deposit box 448 right next to the investment papers. Emergency fund for immediate needs, she'd noted. When you discover who Gerald Bennett really is. The next morning, I went to First National Bank. My hands were still shaking when I handed both keys to the teller. Safety deposit boxes 447 and 448, I said. The young woman looked at the keys, checked my ID, and led me to a private room. Box 447 was full of investment statements carefully organized by year. Stock certificates, mutual fund reports, dividend checks that had been accumulating in a separate account I didn't even know existed. Box 448 contained $50,000 in hundreds wrapped in bank bands. Dorothy's note said, "For immediate needs when you start your new life." I walked out of that bank a different man, not rich exactly, but free, independent, nobody's burden anymore. That afternoon, I called Pete Rodriguez, a private investigator I'd known from some commercial jobs. "Pete, I need your help with something personal. Family situation that's gotten out of hand." "What kind of situation, Gerald?" "Elder abuse. Financial manipulation. I need documentation and I need it done legally." We met at a diner downtown. Pete was a former cop, straight shooter, knew how to handle sensitive situations. I told him everything. The forced guardianship during my grief period, the house takeover, the way they'd isolated me from Emma. "This is textbook elder abuse," Pete said. "Taking notes? What's your goal here, criminal charges?" "No, I want leverage. I want them to understand they can't treat people like this without consequences." Pete grinned. "I like your style. Give me 2 weeks." While Pete investigated, I started making other moves. I found a decent 2-bedroom apartment downtown, nothing fancy but clean and quiet. Put down first, last, and security deposit in cash. Bought some real furniture, got my tools organized, started looking human again. I also hired an attorney, Carl Martinez, who specialized in elder law and financial abuse cases. "I want to challenge the guardianship arrangement," I told him, "and I want to do it the right way through proper legal channels." Martinez reviewed the papers Leonard had pressured me to sign. "These were signed under duress during an acute grief period," he said. We can definitely challenge this, especially if we can document the abuse pattern. 2 weeks later, Pete came back with a file thick as a phone book. Photos of Nancy's shopping sprees, credit reports showing Leonard's business was drowning in debt, recordings of neighbors talking about the fights they heard every night from my old house. But the best evidence came from Nancy herself. Pete had gotten a friend to wear a wire at one of Nancy's real estate networking events. The recording was gold. "Oh, we finally got rid of the old man," Nancy's voice said clearly. Gerald was just moping around the house feeling sorry for himself. "We told him it was time to downsize, time to let the adults take over. He fought it at first, but when you put the legal pressure on these old guys, they fold pretty quick. She's admitting to elder financial abuse," Martinez said, listening to the recording, "and your son signed documents under duress during your grief period. We can challenge this whole arrangement." But I wasn't done gathering ammunition. Through a shell company Martinez helped me set up, I quietly bought Leonard's business debt from the equipment financing company he owed. $35,000 for trucks and tools he'd bought trying to expand his contracting business. The financing company was happy to sell the debt at a discount they'd been having trouble collecting anyway. Now I was Leonard's creditor, and he had no idea his old man held the paper on everything that kept his business running. I also used my 40 years of connections in the electrical trade to find out what Nancy was up to with her real estate ambitions. Turned out her biggest potential client was a developer putting up a new shopping center on the east side. The general contractor was Mike Donovan, a guy I'd worked with for 15 years on commercial projects. One conversation over coffee was all it took. Nancy Bennett. Mike said when I mentioned her name, "Yeah, we were considering her agency for the retail leasing. But honestly, Gerald, we're probably going with someone more established. This is a $40 million project. We need someone with a proven track record." "Probably smart," I agreed. "These big developments, you can't afford to take chances." By the time we finished our coffee, Nancy's shot at the biggest commission of her career was dead in the water. She'd never know why. Meanwhile, Pete kept feeding me intelligence. Leonard's side business, some half-baked scheme to flip houses, had completely collapsed. He'd lost $60,000 of borrowed money and was working nights driving for a rideshare company just to make the minimum payments. "They're fighting every night," Pete reported. "Neighbors say it's gotten so bad. Mrs. Henderson next door called the police twice thinking it was domestic violence. Turns out it was just them screaming about money. Perfect. Let them get a taste of the stress and desperation I'd felt when they threw me out." 3 months into my campaign, I got the news I'd been waiting for. Pete called me on a Tuesday morning with barely contained excitement. "Gerald, they're in real trouble. Leonard's 2 months behind on his truck payments. Nancy lost that shopping center deal and 2 other potential clients backed out. Word is getting around that her agency is unreliable." "How unreliable?" I asked. "Reliable enough that she's been calling her old firm begging for her job back. They told her the position was filled." I pressed my lips together, remembering how Nancy had looked at me with disgust that day at the mall. "Anything else?" "The best part, they took out a home equity loan against your old house to cover Leonard's business losses. They're leveraged up to their eyeballs, and if Leonard's business doesn't turn around fast, they could lose everything." That night, I sat in my comfortable downtown apartment and made the final preparations. I'd bought some decent furniture, nothing flashy but quality stuff that showed a man who'd figured his life out. Got my hair cut properly, bought some good clothes that fit my new weight. Most importantly, I had Martinez draw up all the paperwork, debt forgiveness documents for Leonard's equipment loans, a structured settlement agreement that would clear their home equity debt, employment contracts with reliable electrical contractors who owed me favors, everything they needed to get their lives back on track, but it all came with conditions. Non-negotiable conditions that would establish exactly who had the power in this family from now on. The call came exactly when I expected it would. Leonard's number showing up on my phone after months of silence. I let it ring 4 times before answering, had to sound surprised. "Hello, Dad, it's Leonard." His voice was small, shaky, nothing like the confident man who'd thrown me out. "Leonard, how'd you get my number?" "Dad, we need to talk. Things are really bad here. Nancy and I heard you're doing well now. Someone said you have a penthouse or something." There it was. Not "I miss you" or "I'm sorry." Just the same old Leonard, sniffing around for what he could get from his old man. "A penthouse? Who told you that?" "One of Dorothy's old friends saw you at the bank. Said you looked like you were doing real well, Dad. I don't know what happened to you, but we're in serious trouble. I lost the house flipping business. Nancy's real estate career is falling apart, and we're behind on everything." I could hear desperation creeping into his voice. The same desperation I'd felt when they threw me out with nothing. "Sounds rough, son. Could we come see you? Maybe tomorrow afternoon?" Nancy wants to apologize for how we handled things before. She knows we made mistakes. Sure she did. Mistakes like throwing away a meal ticket before they realized what they were giving up. All right, I said after a long pause. You can come by tomorrow at 2 p.m. But Leonard, I want complete honesty this time. No more lies about what you did to me or why you did it. Yes, Dad, I promise. Total honesty. And Leonard, don't come here expecting the same broken old man you threw out 6 months ago. Things have changed. After I hung up, I walked over to my window overlooking the city. Tomorrow, Leonard and Nancy would see exactly how much things had changed. They'd thrown out Gerald Bennett, thinking he was a weak old man with no options. Tomorrow, they'd meet the Gerald Bennett that Dorothy's love and planning had made possible. The one who'd learned to fight back smart instead of just taking whatever they dished out. I opened my laptop and reviewed the settlement documents one more time. Everything they needed to rebuild their lives, but only if they were willing to accept that the family power structure had permanently changed. By this time tomorrow, they'd understand that throwing people away has consequences, and sometimes those consequences come back to teach you lessons you never wanted to learn. At exactly 2 p.m. the next day, the buzzer rang. Mr. Bennett, your son and daughter-in-law are here to see you. Send them up. I positioned myself by the window with my back to the door, looking out over the downtown skyline. Wanted them to see the whole picture. First, the apartment, the view, the man who clearly wasn't broken anymore. The elevator opened. Slow footsteps across my hardwood floor. The doorbell. Come in. It's open, I said without turning around. The silence behind me was perfect. I could feel their shock, their confusion, their dawning realization that everything they thought they knew was wrong. Finally, I turned around. Leonard stood in my doorway looking like he'd aged 10 years and 6 months. Wrinkled shirt, deep circles under his eyes, the posture of a man who'd lost control of his life. Nancy beside him looked nothing like the confident real estate agent from before. Cheap dress, tired face, the hollow look of someone watching her dreams crumble. Hello, Leonard. Nancy. I kept my voice calm, neutral. Welcome to my place, Dad. This is... Leonard's voice cracked as he looked around at my furniture, the space, the obvious signs of a man who was doing just fine. How is this possible? When you left the house, you could barely afford that efficiency apartment. Sit down, I said, pointing to my leather sofa. We have a lot to discuss. They sat like robots, still trying to process what they were seeing. The contrast was perfect. Them, broken and desperate, sitting in the comfortable home of the man they'd discarded. Can I get you something to drink? I asked. Good coffee, bottled water, maybe some wine? Water's fine, Nancy whispered. I brought them crystal glasses and sat in my single chair facing them. One man in control, 2 people waiting for judgment. All right, I said slowly. You said you wanted to talk. I'm listening. Leonard cleared his throat, trying to find some dignity. Dad, first of all, we're sorry for how we treated you. We were stressed about money, about Nancy's business, about providing for Emma, stressed. I cut him off. So your solution was to throw your father out of his own house? We were wrong. Completely wrong, Leonard said, unable to meet my eyes. Nancy finally spoke, her voice shaking. Gerald, I said terrible things, called you names, made you feel worthless. These past months, watching our life fall apart, I finally understand what it feels like to be desperate and scared. Which terrible things, Nancy? Be specific. She went pale. I said you were moping around, that Dorothy was gone and you needed to move on. I said Emma needed a stable home without a depressed old man shuffling around. That's right. You did say that. I stood and walked to the window. In the reflection, I could see them hunched forward, waiting. You want to know something interesting? You both miscalculated completely. You thought you knew exactly who Gerald Bennett was, a lonely widower with no options, no resources, nobody to turn to. Turns out you never knew me at all. Dad, can you explain where this came from? Leonard asked. The apartment, the money, everything? Why do you want to know? Because you're curious about your old man, or because you're calculating how much you might be able to get? Leonard dropped his head. No good answer to that. I'll tell you a story, I said. When Dorothy died, I was exactly what you thought, a broken widower with limited resources. But when you betrayed me, I had to become someone different, someone stronger. I pulled out Dorothy's letter and handed it to Leonard. Your mother was smarter than any of us knew. For 10 years, she secretly invested our insurance settlements, bonuses, every extra dollar we made. She built us a future none of us saw coming. Leonard read with growing amazement. One bought her $2 million. Mom did this. Your mother saw this day coming, somehow. She knew I might need to stand on my own, and she made sure I'd have the tools to do it. Nancy burst into tears. Gerald, if we'd known Dorothy left money, we never would have. What? You would have treated me differently if you knew I had money? That's exactly the problem, Nancy. You measured my worth by what you could get from me. I sat down closer to them. Let me be clear about something. I have enough money to live comfortably for the rest of my life. I also have enough influence in this city to help people who deserve it, or to make life very difficult for people who don't. What does that mean? Nancy asked. It means I know about Leonard's business debts. I know about your failed real estate deals. I know you're 3 months behind on the house payments. I paused. In fact, I own Leonard's equipment debt now, $35,000 worth. Leonard turned white. You bought my debt through a company I control? Yes. I also made sure Nancy lost that shopping center deal and a few other opportunities. When you have connections and resources, information flows to you, and sometimes you can influence outcomes. Nancy collapsed forward. We don't know what to do. We're going to lose everything. Now you know how I felt when you threw me out with nothing. Please, Dad, Leonard said, his voice breaking. Emma's your granddaughter. She doesn't deserve to suffer because we made mistakes. My granddaughter, I said quietly. What makes you think I want anything to do with her? You said she needed a stable home without her grandfather around. I was wrong. Emma asks about you all the time. She misses her grandpa. I walked to my desk and pulled out the folder I'd prepared. I can make your problems disappear. Your business debt, your house payments, everything. I can clear it all and set you up for success. Their eyes went wide, really. But it comes with non-negotiable conditions. I opened the folder. Condition 1, you publicly apologize to every neighbor on our old street. Tell them exactly what you did to me and admit you were wrong. Condition 2, Leonard, you take steady electrical work with contractors I recommend. Good pay, but one late arrival, one attitude problem, and you're blacklisted from every major job in this city. Condition 3, Nancy, you attend financial counseling to learn to live within your means. The shopping sprees and status games are over. Condition 4, the house goes into a trust for Emma. You can live there until she's 18, then she decides what happens to it. And condition 5, once a month for the next 3 years, you come here for dinner. Not to pretend we're a happy family, but to keep communication open and prove you're keeping your end of the deal. Leonard looked at Nancy. Nancy looked at the floor. Finally, Leonard spoke. We accept all of it. Are you sure? Because once you sign these papers, there's no going back. We're sure, Dad. We spent 2 hours signing documents, setting up schedules, laying out expectations. When it was done, I looked at my son and daughter-in-law. They weren't the same people who'd thrown me out, but they had a long way to go to earn back trust. Over the next 3 months, I watched them follow through. Leonard showed up every day for honest electrical work, no complaints. Nancy attended her counseling sessions and slowly started rebuilding her reputation with smaller, realistic deals. Most importantly, they brought Emma for visits every weekend. The first time my granddaughter hugged me in my new apartment, she whispered, I missed you so much, Grandpa. Why did you go away? Sometimes adults make mistakes, sweetheart, but the important thing is we fix them and do better. 6 months later, at Emma's 9th birthday party in the house that was now legally hers, I watched my family rebuilding itself on honest ground. Leonard had learned to value steady work over get-rich-quick schemes. Nancy had learned that respect comes from character, not manipulation. And I had learned that sometimes the people who hurt you most are the ones who need to see your strength the most. Not to destroy them, but to show them who they could become if they chose to be better. Justice isn't always about punishment. Sometimes it's about teaching people the difference between what they want and what they deserve, and giving them the chance to earn both. Real strength isn't about having power over people, it's about knowing when to use that power to lift them up instead of tear them down. Family isn't just about blood or promises, it's about choosing every day to treat each other with the dignity and respect that builds something worth keeping.